So, Pixar's Luca came to Disney Plus. Beware, this video does have some spoilers, so if you don't want those spoilers, turn away. Luca is about a boy of the same name, well, actually a fish boy, who lives off the coast of Italy. His parents warn him about the dangers, and he has a scary run-in with what he thinks is a diver. And yeah, it's kind of reminded me of Finding Nemo in that respect a little bit. Anyway, he ends up meeting and following another fish boy to the land, and this fish boy is actually accustomed to being on the land regularly. So Luca is emboldened and ends up going to the land all the time. They meet a little girl named Julia, and together they plot to win a bicycle race, all for their own reasons. All the while hiding their identities, because any time water gets on them, even splashes, even raindrops or dewdrops, their fish-like bodies start to show through. And incidentally, everyone in the local town is scared of these fish people. You might also be reminded by their anatomy of the creature from the Black Lagoon, and this is kind of hinted at, with a similar creature being shown on a film poster and highlighted. The film has a very charming aesthetic, and I'm not sure exactly what era it's supposed to be set in, but honestly it doesn't matter because technology isn't a huge part of the story, so I suppose it could be 50 years ago, could be 20 years from now, who knows. Now, one thing that's been speculated about is that this story has an allegory for being gay. There seems to be some innuendo in this regard when he first comes out of the water.
First time?
Of course it is! I'm a good kid.
Well, isn't it great?
No, it's bad.
And then when Luca's mom is worried and wants to send him away with this other fish, maybe that's an allegory for conversion therapy. And then at the end, when Luca's friend is shown to be a fish by the rain, Luca literally comes out from under the porch and is himself revealed as well.
For the last time, you two don't belong here. Get out of my town!
And shortly after that, two women, a female couple perhaps, I don't know, they, seeing that these two are outed and everybody seems to be okay with it, they toss their umbrellas and show their fish forms. And you'll see headlines saying that the filmmaker himself, the director, denied this. But if you look at the quote of what he actually said, it's not so much of a direct denial. It's more that he's saying that they're prepubescent and they haven't really gotten to that point yet. But that's just me. That's what I got from it, at least. That's your call to make, and perhaps that's why they left it pretty ambiguous, so you can interpret it how you want to.
But we can't let him stay in this world. Can we?
Some people, they'll never accept him. But some will.
So how is it from a technical standpoint? It's an interesting style. First off, you'll notice the character design is pretty different than any other Pixar movie before it. It actually reminds me of Aardman a lot, the shape of the mouths. And interestingly, that's looks the same as what Pixar's next movie is going to be as well. This film also has very similar aesthetics to Pixar's 2011 short film La Luna, and that's because it's the same director. As for the Disney Plus streaming release, that leads to two negative things. First of all, of course, streaming is inherently inferior to physical disc, Blu-ray disc, that is. Currently, it just has to be compressed to have a much lower bit rate than a Blu-ray can have in order to be able to stream effectively. So even though it is 4K on Disney Plus, obviously it's not as good as a disc will be, and right off the bat you can see that. In the Pixar logo you see heavy noise around the bottom, and another thing that heavily compressed video doesn't do as well is gradients. Like in the night sky, right away you'll see in the gradients from dark to light, it doesn't go smoothly, it's in bands of color. But the bigger deal, in my book at least, would be the lack of 3D. Yes, just like Pixar's last movie as well, it was made fully in stereoscopic 3D. It's fully rendered that way. You can see it in the end credits. But like before, for some unknown reason, Disney is just sitting on that version. You'd think they'd want to monetize something that they paid for, but they've done this multiple times already with several movies. Make a 3D version and do nothing with it. If you're looking for a pattern with Disney's decisions in this regard, you could think, oh, because this and Pixar's last movie were released to straight to Disney Plus because of reactions to the pandemic, maybe that's why. Because they didn't have a US or UK theatrical release, those countries won't get a 3D Blu-ray. But Raya and the Last Dragon did get a 3D theatrical release, that is, but didn't get a 3D Blu-ray. Not even in UK, where it used to be pretty much a given, or even in Japan, who was the only one to get a 3D Blu-ray of Ralph Breaks the Internet. So honestly, going forward, it's Disney is even worse than they were before in regards to predictability of 3D Blu-ray releases, and hopefully they turn that around. We'll see what happens. Time will tell. All right, I'll see you next time.